every axis mundi, or every typonium, or every cosmos. Every reader perceives these planetarial worlds within the ordinum of time lexical jokes immediately, and then physical jokes require, where the use of these slang and jargon in literature helps to denote community groups and the disparity from the dominant culture. Thus, we see the impact, the most important influence, the dominant of political and economical pole since the century seemed to be the king, the Japanese king Kirigal of synthetic superhero, a clean patch of virtual world who looked like the man of past, also helped extend the limits of literature through the dimension of invented civilization. It was also William Gibson's move, not only Philip K. Dick, to invent people from American reality was going to swallow to them. The turning point of the election was was to want to hide in not synonymous with the inventiveness, believe at least to the most prestigious prizes in the sector of speculative fiction. Now, the technological parallels. Technological innovations envisioned in cyberpunk literature have often foreshadowed the real-world developments from virtual reality to cybersecurity concerns. This genre has served as a cultural mirror reflecting over evolving relationships with technology. Along with the influence that the classic works extend, those by Samuel Delay, J.G. Ballard, Harold Ellinson, the first operations of the Bruce Sterling, Crystal Express 1984, Scutus Arise 1985, Anthology of Collected Stories, all these works, Mirror Shades 1984, represent the real debut and the announcement, establishment, where the where William Gibson from Vancouver, a starry socialist for the Canadian Railways, happened to invent the positronic universe of Neuromancer, the big business hot with Tokyo metrics of sometimes mythical world that changed the whole narrative paradigm to search for man's innermost call. These show the literary legacy cyberpunk has evidently in the contemporary literature, where authors continue to explore these themes, like Margareta Atwood uh, is one of the most established American authors who has uh, being an being a feminist writer at the same time she has explored with the themes of cybernetics and continues to explore transhumanism, a digital consciousness, and the ethical implications of technological convergence. The genre influence on the language and storytelling endures. Complete invention and innovation of a language which is not so far explored, but rather it reflects the future which the cyber culture is going to affect. The cultural impact of this extends beyond literature, shaping our perceptions of technology, identity, and future. It influences on not just language and aesthetic sensibilities, but it also redefines the future and cultural aspects and integrations of our society, which will be redefined of our understanding of human and technological interference. So my conclusion will be that this genre has left an indelible mark on language and literature, reshaping our linguistic lexicon and inspiring new forms of narrative expression. Its enduring legacies continues to provoke critical reflection on the intersection of technology and humanity. At the same time, warning ourselves for the future where cyber integrations could be remarkable of cyber culture and how these things are going to be impacting our own security, making the new inventions of cyber security as a question. And these things will take us to the new postmodernism and consumer society. With this, I would like to conclude and give thanks. Any questions?
Thank you very much, ma'am. Before we proceed to the questions of the audience, I have one question from you, if you could answer that. Did you find any similarities between digital humanities and the literature of cyberpunk?
Yes. Yes, sir. Could you please repeat?
Do you find any similarities between digital humanities
Mhm.
and the literature in cyberpunk?
Yes, sir. Digital humanity. See, and every now and then we see that nowadays, if you look at yourself also, for a simple task, we are like conferences which were earlier offline, now they are online. So basically, we are engaging ourselves with the technology. Normally human, it's not just digital. We have seen instances where the digital chip or antennas or such innovative ideas are being integrated in human body, but at the same time what we are looking at nowadays is we are changing the jargon just because we have technological interferences. Earlier we never used to have cyber space, cyber crime. These terms were not very familiar, but now we cannot function without such terms. Phones, cell phones, anything, any cyberspace related tech terms, or be it the lifestyle, we are a part of it and they are an integral part of our lives. We cannot stand without all these things.
Thank
So
you
they
very
are
much.
warning us for the future, that how a future is going to be and how we need to take, because literature is a reflection of future. Literature is reflection of society, so we are going to reflect that through the term, through these works. These authors are actually trying to warn us and tell us that how we should look at our futures, so we should be prepared for it.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Do we have any questions from the audience? Do we have any questions from the audience? I think we don't have any questions. I would request abstract ID ETRD-24
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Himanshi Bhardwaj to present on
Yes,
the abstract representing modern women through selective ancient scriptures.
yes. Thank you, sir. I would like to share my screen first.
Yeah, please, please. Kritika ma'am, kindly stop sharing your screen so that.
It stopped, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Is my screen visible, sir?
Yeah, ma'am, it's visible. Now it's not. I mean, earlier it was visible.
One second, sir. Is it now visible?
Yeah, it's visible.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. I'm Himanshi Bhardwaj, Assistant Professor and Research Scholar at Jaipur National University. My topic is Reinterpreting Modern Women Through Selective Indian Scriptures. It is a comparative and critical study which compares portrayal of women in ancient scriptures and their influence on modern women. One second, sir. Uh, I cannot switch to the next slide.
Kindly press on present button, ma'am. After just after touching on the screen, you will be getting multiple options. Press on present button.
Um, yes, sir. Is it visible?
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay. So I would like to begin my presentation with a very famous quote of Michelle Obama, which goes like, "There is no limit to what we as women can accomplish." While these words have inspired millions of women, this notion goes way back that we can even imagine. And I'm so proud to say that it began with my country. So today, I will discuss portrayal of women in three such texts which are Vedas, Mahabharata, and Ramayana, and how these portrayals have provided a sense of identity and cultural continuity to present day women. If we talk about Vedas, the intellectual curiosity of women is discussed in the most ancient text, which was written at the beginning of our civilization. Vedas mention female philosophers like Gargi and Maitri and refer to them as Brahmavadini, which literally means a person who engages in debate. This intellectual continuity can be seen in faces like Gagandeep Khan and Malala Yousafzai, who are making major contributions to education and STEM fields. I would like to explain Gargi and Maitri in detail. So, Gargi, a renowned female philosopher, has participated in intellectual debates and challenged stages and contributed to the spiritual discourse of the time. There's a passage in Rig Veda which refers Gargi as Brahmavadini, a woman who discusses the ultimate reality. The title suggests that Gargi was a highly educated in Vedic philosophy, participating in scholarly debates on par with male sages. If we talk about Maitri, she is another prominent figure and is known for her philosophical discussion with her own husband, Yajnavalkya, illustrating the intellectual equality afforded to women. There is a verse in Rig Veda which refers Maitri to Vedanta Vadini. This term signifies her expertise in Vedanta, an advanced branch of Vedic philosophy, suggesting she had access to level of education. When we move to Mahabharata, we see more complex characters which are navigating power, ambitions, and negotiating societal expectations. The iconic character of Draupadi challenges the patriarchal establishment when Pandavas gamble her away. In the Sabha Parva of Mahabharata, there's a powerful passage where Draupadi, wife of Pandavas, vehemently criticizes Yudhishthir for gambling her away in a game of dice. She praises Bhim's strength but sharply rebukes Yudhishthir, questioning his understanding of dharma and his right to stake her as she was not his property. Her word reflects her strong sense of self worth and courage to challenge even a king when she believes an injustice has been done. Another is modern women, like their ancient counterparts, continue the legacy, and we see politicians like Mamata Banerjee, Sonia Gandhi, etc., shaping the India's political landscape. There is another interesting story, which is the story of a female Vedic poet named Apala. In a Vedic hymn in Rigved 8.91, Apala confidently invites mighty god In to partake in the ritual she has prepared for her. Apala was one of the few female poets of Vedic period who wrote a hymn inviting Lord Indra to have a Soma drink, which not only shows the emotion of women at that time, but also how independent they were with their choices and their words. The hymn is composed by Apala, one of the few female sages or Rishikas as we can call them, whose composition are also included in Rig Veda. In this passage, she confidently invites Indra, one of the most powerful gods in the Vedic pantheon, to partake of the Soma drink that she has prepared with her own hand. Her own words are, I, myself, think my speech has reached the people, which reflect her self assurance as a spiritual leader. She believes her message resonates with the community, showcasing her influential status. If we move towards critical analysis, we can see that on the one hand, these ancient scriptures have influenced the modern women in a positive way, but on the other hand, these reinterpretations have been criticized for selectively cherry picking portions that align with contemporary dynamics and overlooking of patriarchal biases. Ayodhya Kand in Ramayana mentions Sita's beauty and praise her for her feminine qualities, which sets an unrealistic beauty standards for the generations of women to come. They have been criticized for being dark or for their skin color or for their body weight or even thin, reinforcing regressive stereotypes of the ideal of womanhood. For comparative analysis, I have selected two examples, which is social status and cultural expectations. Modern women, as we can see, are active in all the sectors with improved rights, but still face challenges like gender-based violence or the gender pay gap. Whereas ancient women, initially they were respected during the Vedic era, but later, due to the wrong interpretation of our Vedic text, the society posed more restrictions and they were the victim of patriarchy. If we talk about cultural expectations, modern women have more freedom and diverse lifestyle choices, though the traditional expectations may still persist for some of them. If we talk about Vedic women or ancient women, they were more focused on domestic role with strict societal norms. With this, I would like to conclude, and I just want to say that there is a symbolic relationship between ancient Indian scriptural depiction of women and their influence on contemporary treatment of women. By illuminating both the achievements and limitations, it's time that we find an inclusive visionary path forward to collectively redefine womanhood. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. It was a really very informative presentation on womanhood, and
Thank you.
the
Thank you,
floor
sir.
the floor is open for questions. Do you have any questions? Okay,
If anyone has any questions.
I have one very soft, very short question. If you could please address to it. When we talk
Yes,
about
sir, sure.
when we talk about the ancient literature of any culture, whether it is India, whether it is abroad, we look
Yes,
at
sir.
it in the various phases of history. When we talk about the
Yes,
prehistoric period in India, if we call it as the pre-Vedic or Vedic age, we
yes,
see the
sir.
representation of women in that particular age. But when we talk about the post-Vedic age until the modern age, we do not find such representation of women. And that is why I think that most of the literature of the women have not been considered for a broader canon of literature in most of the countries, and that's why we need to revisit them. What's your take on it?
Yes, sir. That's what I was trying to say that since you mentioned prehistoric era, so that was the Stone Age
Yeah,
where we had hunter and gatherers, and we do not have any literary evidences. Even if we have, the script has not been deciphered yet. Then, when we move towards Vedic age, we see scholars like Guardian Matri, as we have discussed. We also have Lopa Mudra as a Vedic poet. But when we move towards post-Vedic age, the society becomes rigid. I think the culture in the religion in the form of culture takeover. When
yeah,
the religion was Brahminism, there were rituals to to oppose the social rigidity. There were more religion which came up, like Buddhism and Jainism.
yeah. And
And then,
even if there were some good writers in from the female sect, whether it was Meera or
no, sir,
Laleshwari in
no,
Kashmir, they were
sir,
treated as
sir, no. I'm so sorry, sir, I'm interrupting you here. Laleshwari and Meera belongs to medieval age.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
So during post-Vedic age, women were not allowed to read Vedas.
Mhm.
They were not allowed to listen to it. So their intellectual development hampered there. And when we talk about saints like Laleshwari from Kashmir, of course, Didda, and even Mirabai, they are all from medieval era.
Yeah, they were boycotted by the society in a way.
Yes, in a way. Yes, sir. So that was the contradiction I wanted to show that we belong to the land of education.
Yeah,
And during the over the period of time, women are denied when women were denied education, and there is still a huge gap between what should be delivered and what is being delivered.
yeah, exactly. Thank you very much, ma'am. Do we have any
Thank
questions from
you,
the
sir.
floor? Okay. Thank you very much, ma'am. Now we move to the next presenter, ETRD 24130. Sorry, 24 ETRD 24120. Shivani Purohit Pushkarna. She'll be
Yeah,
presenting the topic, the evaluation of gender roles, a comparative analysis of male and female characters in Jane Austen's novel. Are you ready for the?
yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. One second, I'll share my screen with everyone. Is it visible to everyone?
It was visible a moment ago, ma'am. Yeah, now it's visible.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Uh, Good evening, everyone. Myself Shivani Pushkana, and today today I will be presenting my research, my paper on the evolution of gender roles, a comparative analysis of male and female characters in Jane Austen's novels. Sorry, I'm not able to. One second. Yeah. This paper explores how Jane Austen's work reflect and critique the gender norms of her name and what insight they offer for today's discussion on gender equality. Uh, my name is Shivani Pushkarna, and I am excited here to uh, share my feelings about this. To begin, Jane Austen's novels were written in early 19th century England, a period marked by strict social hierarchies and rigid gender roles. And Austen's focus was often on examining the roles and expectations placed on women within a patriarchal society. The purpose of my paper is to explore how gender roles are depicted and how they involved in Austen's works, especially uh, I aim to answer how Austen's novels portray male and female roles and what this reveal about the gender dynamics of her time. My one second, sorry for the interruption. Jane Austen's novels offer a rich tapestry of early 19th century English society, highlighting rigid gender roles and that defined that period. This paper also investigates how Austen's characters navigate these roles and focusing on the complexities and constraints faced by both men and women. During the late 18th and the early 19th century, the gender roles in England were clearly delineated. Men were expected to be providers and protectors, while women were relegated to the domestic sphere, tasked with maintaining the household and rearing children. Education, career, and opportunities were limited for women, who were often valued primarily for their abilities to secure advantageous marriages. Again, I'm not. For this, I have selected these novels: Sense and Sensibility, Pride and Prejudice, Mansfield Park, Emma, Northanger Abbey, and Persuasion. For the methodology, I conducted a quantity analysis of Austen's novels. The selected novels are Sense and Sensibility, Pride and Prejudice, Mansfield Park, Emma, Northanger Abbey, Persuasion. I focus on the aspects such as character development, dialogue, narrative techniques in the social context with each story. The analytical framework centered on themes like uh, marriage, education, social mobility, and the moral values, though detailed comparison of characters and themes, I aim to understand how Austen depicted and critiqued the gender roles of her time. Moving on to the literature review, several key themes emerged in the analysis of gender roles in Austen's work. Feminist literary critics such as Sandra Gilbert and Suzanne Garber view Austen as a proto-feminist who subtly challenged patriarchal norms. Uh, Also, Claudia L. Johnson highlight how Austen critiqued societal constraints through her characters. Themes of autonomy and agency are evident in characters like Elizabeth Bennet, Fanny Price, Julia Witt Brown discuss the tension between romantic ideas and the economic realities in Austen's portrayal of marriage. Margaret Kirkham critiques social expectations and moral values through Austen's character. The literature review also covers the portrayal of male characters and contemporary perspectives. Wiltshire discusses the transformation of characters like Mr. Darky, Captain Wentworth, in highlighting an idea of reformed masculinity. Joe Gray examines the challenges faced by characters such as Edmund Bertram, Edward Ferrars, reflecting on social expectations of masculinity. In conclusion, Jane Austen's portrayal of gender roles serves as a critique of the social norms of her time. Her characters illustrate both the constraints and the possibilities within the gender dynamics of the early 19th century. Austen's work remains relevant today, also offering timeless insight into the evolution of gender roles, the ongoing quest for gender equality. Thank you for your attention. Thank you so much. Here I'm ending my presentation.
Thank you very much, ma'am. The floor is open for questions. Do you have any more questions? Any questions? Okay. Thank you very much, ma'am. Now I invite the next participant, ETRD 24130, Zainab Ali, to present on trans-languaging pedagogies and learning of English in the multilingual Indian classroom, a case study based on English learners and instructors of India. Zainab
Hello
Ali.
and a very good morning to all. I'm Zainab, and today I will be discussing about an approach commonly used in India in the classroom. This involves utilization of multiple languages in the classrooms by teachers. So the topic of my research is trans language and pedagogy. Okay, let me share the screen first. I'm so sorry. Will take a second.
Sure.
Is it visible?
Yeah, it's visible, ma'am. Kindly start the presentation.
Okay then. So, the topic of my research is translanguaging pedagogies and learning of
Sorry for interruption, ma'am. Kindly click on from beginning. You can see.
slideshow.
Just click on from beginning so that you can control the slides.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So, translanguaging pedagogy in the learning of English in multilingual Indian classroom, a case study based on postgraduate English learners. So, translanguaging pedagogy is a process of utilizing more than one language within a classroom. It helps to increase the speed at which learners acquire the target language. This approach shows various benefits for students, building a connection between their mother tongue and the target language. The language enhances the comprehension and the language development, and it also promotes various positive attitudes towards linguistic and cultural diversities, leading to a more inclusive and equitable learning environment. Additionally, it can improve students' academic performance. Now, there are two ways to apply this method. As you can see, pedagogical translanguaging, it is a more planned and systematic strategy, and it mainly focuses on developing learners' language competencies, whereas spontaneous translanguaging takes place without planning or designing. The bi or multilingual teacher spontaneously translate language, and it takes place inside or outside the classroom. Now, the objectives and implications of this research are to investigate the benefits of translanguaging in different contexts. Moreover, it aims to identify the challenges.
Yeah, I mean, your slide is stuck. It's not moving.
Is it fine now?
Moment. Yeah, now we are in the implication slides. Now we are in the implication
Yeah.
slide.
This one is.
Okay.
Are you still on the implication slides?
Yeah, we are still on it. I think the slide, the screen shared is different from the screen that is with you.
I don't understand you. Are you you are in which slide?
Implications.
Implications still there?
Yeah, I'm still on the implication slide. Okay, now we are on literary review. Now implications.
I was discussing implications.
Yeah.
Okay. The objectives and implication of my research are to investigate the benefits of translanguaging in different contexts. Moreover, it aims to identify the challenges faced by a multilingual country like India when practicing translanguaging in classroom. Now, the next slide, literary review. The term translanguaging was first used by Welsh sociolinguist Ken Williams to describe the language practices of bilingual Welsh English children. Later on, researchers like Ophelia Gracia, Lee White, Angela Fries began to develop and popularize the concept of translanguaging in the field of language education. They argued that translanguaging could be more powerful pedagogical tool for promoting multilingualism, supporting language minority students, and challenging traditional language hierarchies. Since then, the term has become an increasingly influential concept and is often related to code switching. The next slide, research methodology. My research was My research was done using case study methodology and intended to analyze the learners' and instructors' attitudes in translanguaging perception and receptiveness. The aim was to conduct the survey with the student and teachers of MAELJ, Aligarh Muslim University, and the data was analyzed by pie chart on Google Form. Now, these are my findings. In the first chart, the student's language background, the majority of participants indicated Hindi as their native language, while another reported simultaneous use of English and another language. Below it, you can see the other chart. You can see that the teachers' responses, 75% of teacher participants are recorded as Hindi native speakers, whereas 25% as non-native speakers. Beside the pie charts are the bar graphs that represent the number of languages known by the participants. There were more multilingual students participants who responded to the survey than bilingual. And as for the teachers, most of them reported knowing more than three languages, and some three, and very few were bilinguals. Now, here are the participant comments. The comments provided here shed light on students' understanding of translanguaging and how they use translanguaging in the combination with their native language to English. The results were either neutral or slightly negative to the practice. When asked about their language preferences in different contexts, most students preferred English and Hindi, while others while communicating with peer members, they use their native language, whereas all of them use English language while conversing with teacher. Although they tend to agree upon the idea of translanguaging pedagogy in the classroom, they prefer English as their standard language in the classroom to maintain discipline. And the majority of teacher participants sometimes or rarely use the translingual pedagogy method. So, overall, my findings reveal that the postgraduate students and teachers firmly believe that translanguaging is a natural exercise for bilingual and multilinguals. Translanguaging in student production appears to present in all classrooms and embraced by teachers in all settings. Few comments position translanguaging as an undesirable compared to those who recognize translanguaging as a useful framework, viewed it as more important in pedagogy and language comprehension. The participants chose a positive perception that language conversion is a natural way of speaking two or more languages. And participants were neutral about whether translanguaging should be avoided or if it was confusing or disrespectful. Now, taken together, these results indicate that the postgraduate English learners and teachers believe that translanguaging is a normal language resource that does not interfere with normal communication. Now, according to the data collected, a majority of students and teachers think that translanguaging is used to facilitate an understanding of a larger picture, simplifying complex subjects and aiding in mastering of English language. Both the teacher and student believe that translanguaging is effective in classroom management and task definition. And overall, in the study, a study found that translanguaging to be a plus for preparatory classes. Now, translanguaging pedagogy has potential to promote linguistic and ethnic diversity in classroom, also improving language outcomes for students. However, implementing requires a shift in traditional language teaching practices and a recognition in the importance of students' linguistic background. Indian universities have been increasingly embracing translingual practices. Bilingual and multilingual no longer seem content with monolingual ideologies, and the universities across the world are becoming more open to translingual teaching methodologies. In a multilingual country, translanguaging can be a useful tool for promoting effective communication and social cohesion. My research revealed several implications for practice, policy, and research. More participants agreed that teachers should consider allowing and encouraging the use of trans languaging in the classroom, as it is helpful and essential to the acquisition of English by bilingual learners. However, many individuals from different cultural and linguistic backgrounds may have different ways of expressing themselves or different communication styles, which can lead to misunderstanding. Some individuals may view the use of multiple languages as a barrier to communicate or as a sign of lack of proficiency in a particular language. This can lead to resistance towards trans languaging and a reluctance to engage with multilingualism in a positive way. Overall, the use of trans languaging in classroom is a topic of ongoing debate and research. While some educators view it as a valuable tool, others may have reservations or lack experience with it. Ultimately, the decision to use trans languaging in the classroom will depend on the instructor's teaching philosophy and the needs of students. Now, this was all for my presentation. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much for
Thank you.
listening.
Thank you very much, ma'am. It was a really very wonderful research that you have presented to us. The floor is open for the question. If you have any question, kindly raise your hand so you can ask it. Now I request the next participant, the next presenter, ETRD-24 Rupaka Susmita, presenting on emerging trends in research and development, digital literacy in English. Is she here with us?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Am I
Uh,
audible?
yeah, you're audible. Can you present?
I'm sharing my screen, sir. Is the screen visible to everyone?
Yeah, it's visible. Kindly proceed, ma'am.
Good afternoon to the dignitaries, the fellow presenters, and the participants. My name is Rapaka Sushmita, research scholar in English, under the supervision of Dr. B. Krishnachandra Kirti, Osmani University, Hyderabad. The title of my paper is Emerging Trends in Research and Development, Exploring Blogs in Digital Era. In this digital era, many of us have been using social media platforms like Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, WhatsApp, Instagram, etc. As generations have passed, the medium of publishing books has been changed. Examples: from manuscripts to printed material, from printed material to digital publications. In this paper, digital literature will be studied, taking blog as a central idea. Light will also be shed on the social media platforms used by authors and how they are reaching out their audiences. Before going into the detail of my paper, I would like to define digital literature. Digital literature is also known as electronic literature. It is an emerging genre of literature which is written on computer, tablets, mobile phones, and has capabilities of multimodality, interactivity, and algorithmic text generation in an aesthetic way to study and enjoy the literature. These works are open to readers who can comment, criticize, and suggest to the author. A research gap. Research like Arsal and Zhao in 2013, they have discussed two central issues about the blogs and digital consumers. First, they discuss the consumption of blogs and cultural resources and cultural catalyst for social influence. Second, they discuss the production of blogs as medium for expressing and experimenting with consumer identity through the representation and reinterpretation of consumption experience. Secondly, Langlet in 2013 points out the way to extend beyond individual relationships, characteristic of public relations, practitioner blogger, discourse, and promote a dialogic approach to blogger outreach ethics. Finally, Devi in 2019 highlights the role of weblogs in promoting literature in the digital era by exploring the recent form of journalism where bloggers describe an event, express their views on daily happenings, and promote a book or update articles. However, there is no handling or exploring the blogs in the perspective of narratives. There are some blogs by good authors who produce novels, short stories, poetry, etc. Aims and objectives. Aim of this paper is to study, analyze the blogs which produce narratives by content creators and to critically analyze the way they come under the authentic literature. Objectives are to analyze the selected stories from the selected blog, to study the narrative techniques of the selected blog stories, to study the symbolism of the selected blog stories. The methodology that have been used is critical analysis, library research method, qualitative research method. These three are the methodology that have been used in this paper to analyze the blogs. Analysis. For analyzing in the part of analysis, Longread's blog has selected in this paper. This paper has analyzed Longreads, a digital platform of blogs which publishes fictional stories in its website. 3 stories have been selected to analyze their themes, dialogue, character setting, and all the traditional narrative techniques. The 3 stories that have been selected are Three Stings, Past, Present, and Future by Ayla Samli, The Curl of Time by Sarah Stancock, Where the Wild Things are the Untapped Potential of Our Gardens, Parks, and Balconies by Kate Bradbury. By keeping time in my mind, I would like to explain one story from these 3 selected stories. That is Three Strings, Past, Present, and Future by Ayla Samli. In this story, there is a lady who dives back to her memories while listening to a music played by an instrument called dulcimer near a local bakery. She goes back to the memories where she spent her times with 3 generations of females in her life. Both sides of her family are skilled players of instruments like piano, banjo, and organ are existed on her mother's side, and piano, violin, and other string instruments were played by her father's side. The protagonist says that her 11-year-old daughter had genetically got the talent of playing instruments. She recalls one day her father had said that his mother was a very talented in playing Conan, an old world auntie of the dulcimer. She says her father also loved playing instruments and was very fond of music, but his family never allowed him to learn music and asked him to focus more on academics. She then recalls her paternal grandmother who used to play piano with her great skills. Then she recalls about her maternal grandmother, who was a skillful player and majored in piano with her elder sister and left her passion dropped out to provide her nine younger siblings. She then recalls her mother, who was a great player of organ and piano, who won prizes at her graduate level. She says that her mother used to play occasionally for her in her childhood, and her mother used to play piano when she was visiting her friends on Sunday. She becomes sensitive towards her three generations mothers who eventually left their passion in order to take care of their families, to provide their siblings, to support their husband, and to raise their children. She says in great belief, if they were made music professionally, they had become great artists and produced great musics. She also adds by saying that these three women felt happy and released their pressure which was given by their families by playing music. Music was a solution of their frustrated lifestyle, which gave peace and serenity to them. She then realized that she belongs to music and chooses to learn dulcimer, which bridges a gap between the old and new generation music forms or instruments. The story ends with our protagonist buying a dulcimer and becomes very passionate to learn it. She becomes very excited to meet the old owner of the dulcimer and her future tunes with her new instrument. In this story, we can when it comes to the analysis part of the story, this story have narrative techniques like setting. The story set in North Carolina, and the time is past, present, and future. The characters were there is a protagonist whose name is unknown and who referred to herself as I. There is protagonist 11-year-old daughter, protagonist father, and protagonist great grandmother, great grandmother, grandmother maternal and paternal, and her mother. There is a plot also. When it comes to plot divides into five parts: exposition, raising action, climax, falling action, denouement. Exposition part of this story is the protagonist was introduced and the setting was introduced. Rising action was the protagonist was dwelling in her memories by listening to the music. The climax part is the protagonist is realizing her identity and connecting to her family's heritage of playing instruments, bridging the gap between old and new generation by selecting dulcimer as her instrument for interest. Falling action is the protagonist was in search of dulcimer to buy online in second hand. The determined part was the protagonist finally bought a dulcimer and looking forward to produce aesthetic music in their combination. The themes of this story are quest for identity, finding beauty and human connection, discrimination of women. Style. The author has used the narrative and descriptive style of technique in this story. Point of view in the story was the author has used the first person point of view. Symbol in this story was dulcimer, a musical instrument which which symbolizes past, present, and future with that instrument's three strings. So when it comes to the analysis part, the story has the traditional narrative techniques. It follows the traditional narrative techniques, and it has symbols, themes, etc. in this. So the findings of my paper is, in this digital era, we are producing many contents through WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, through blogs, etc. So we as literature students, we can do research on these blogs and these postings, etc. Postings like on WhatsApp and LinkedIn, Twitter, etc. By by looking through its perspective, theme, symbol, images, what the particular author or the content writer is trying to say in that particular post. So in conclusion, long reads as a blog contains a content which follows a traditional format of literature. It can be considered as a digital literature, and as the title suggests, emerging trends in research and development. Blogs that were published in different websites, which publishes short stories, can be considered as digital literature, and conduct research by exploring their themes, narrative techniques, symbol, imagism at the time. Critical studies can be done on them. There are many websites like Story Mirror, Readsy, and many more to explore in this digital era. For future researchers, there is a scope of exploring digital literature in the form of blogs, Instagram posts, Facebook posts, LinkedIn, etc. We can also apply the critical theories like new criticism, deconstruction theory, psychoanalytical criticism in the particular three strings that have analyzed right now. We can also see the psychological part of the women, three generation women in this story. That's it. Thank you. Any questions or suggestions?
Thank you very much, ma'am. Floor is open for questions. Do we have any questions from the participants? Now, I would like to invite our next participant, ETRD-24, Gerald J. Kochri, presenting on Starocreal Stardom, exploring the cultural influence of Indian films on Indian fashion trends. Do we have Gerald here with us?
Yeah, I am here.
Yeah, please tell us.
Yeah, hi, good evening, everyone. Myself, Jalal Jakotili, research
Just-
scholar in Jaipur National University.
Just a minute, just a minute. I would just request all the participants to keep their presentation short and try to finish off within 6 to 7 minutes of time. Okay? Hello.
Yeah. Just a second, I'm sharing my screen. I think the screen is visible for you.
Yes, perfectly. Perfectly.
Yeah, okay. So, good evening, everyone. My name is Jalal Jakochiri. I'm from doing MS research scholar in the Department of English and Language Literature Society, Jaipur National University. So, I'm going to present my paper on sartorial stardom, exploring the cultural influence of Indian films on Indian fashion trends. Introduction. There is no specific point in the history when humans began to adorn themselves to enhance their appearance, as the administration of beauty is an inherent trait in human nature. The desire to appear neat and attractive in a tidy, present manner is natural aspect of human behavior. In contemporary times, appearance has become crucial in influencing others' opinion. The drive to present oneself appropriately and suitably to make good impression has super various development, including fashion. People became fascinated by the costume shown in the movie, which fascinate people and bring them to their life. So it became trendy in the fashion field. It offers a comprehensive exploration of the influence of Indian films on fashion trends in India, reflecting the vibrant and dynamic relation between Indian cinemas and the fashion industry. Indian cinema, particularly Bollywood, has been a major culture force since its inception in the early 20th century. With its vibrant storytelling, music, and dance, Bollywood films have captured audience in India and worldwide. This paper attempt to understand how Indian films influence fashion trends and style in Indian society. The paper aims to analyze the reason for the acceptance of certain films in Bollywood and describe those occasions where people in India found apt to wear the costume. Understanding the perspective of the people in wearing the costume using film concept or popular culture is another objective of the paper. The paper probes into those aspects in the film which resulted in the production of a costume symbolizing the witty style statement. The production of such an unusual trend was fascinating. Therefore, to unravel the reason for such a style statement is the focus of the research paper. Cinema and fashion. Indian cinema, known for its vibrant storytelling and visual grandeur, has has long been a significant culture force in entertainment and shaping fashion trends across the nation. From the opulent costumes of period dramas to the chic outfit of the contemporary blockbuster, Indian films have played a pivotal role in dictating sartorial choices and fashion sensibilities. This article delves to profound impact of Indian films on fashion trends, highlighting key moments and trends that have defined the eras. Early cinemas and fashion, 1910 to 1940s. In the early days of Indian cinemas, fashion in films was largely traditional, reflecting the prevalent style of the time. Film like Raja Harichandra, 1913, showcased the characters in traditional Indian attire, such as saris, dhotis, and turbans. The influence of cinema on everyday fashion was limited due to the nascent state of the film industry and the limited reach of films. Post-independence era, 1915 to 1970s, the post-independence era saw a significant evolution in Indian cinema and fashion. Bollywood film began to integrate contemporary style with the traditional elements. Actors like Nagis in Aura, Anif Divan, and Madhwala in Mughal Azam 1960 popularized saris and anarchalies, blending modern aesthetic with the classical elegance. The influence of Western fashion also became more pronounced with film like An Evening in Paris 1967 introducing Western attire and chic hairstyle. The disco era and the 1980s. The 1980s brought this disco craze to Bollywood with a film like Disco Dancer 1982 and Cars 1980, setting a new fashion trend. Screened outfit, bell bottom, and bold color became the range. This period marked a departure from purely traditional attire as audience embraced a more e- eclectic and vibrant fashion sense. The contemporary influence in the 1990s, globalization and the fashion fusion. The liberalization of the Indian economy is in the early 1990s has a profound impact on Bollywood and fashion. Film like Dilwale Duniya Hai Le Jayenge 1995 and Kuch Kuch Hota Hai 1998 introduced a blend of Western and Indian fashion. The former popularized the iconic red chiffon sari, which, while the latter brought sporty casual attire into the limelight. Designer brand and labels started making their way into mainstream cinema, influencing the fashion industry and consumer choices. 2000 onwards, the designer collaboration and high fashion. In the 2000s, Bollywood influence on fashion reached a new heights with the increased collaboration between filmmakers and fashion designers. Film like Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gham 2001 and Devdas in 2002 showcased elaborate costume designed by renowned fashion designers, setting new trends in the bridal and formal wear. Bollywood celebrities became fashion icons, and their on-screen and off-screen actors started being closely followed by the public. Recent trends and region films, social media, and the instant fashion. Indian regional cinema has also significantly influenced fashion trends. Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam, and Bengali films have brought regional textiles, embroidery, and styles to the forefront, enriching the Indian fashion landscape with a diverse influence. The advent of social media has amplified Bollywood impact on fashion. Platforms like Instagram and Twitter allow fans to instantly access and emulate their favorite stars' look. Film like Padmavat 2018 and Rasi 2018 have revived traditional craft and textile, bringing handloom sarees and ethnic wear back into vogue. The trend of sustainable fashion has also gained a momentum, influenced by film promoting eco-friendly practices. Premam, a Malayalam movie released in 2015, which profoundly impacted Indian society, particularly the realm of fashion, youth culture, and the film industry itself. Some key areas where the Premam left its mark in the black kurta and the Kerala sari. In the 21st century, Indian cinema has embraced globalization, blending traditional Indian aesthetic with international fashion trends. Movies like Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gham 2001 and Devdas 2002 showcased opulent conventional attire, which film such as Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara 2011 introduced a contemporary chic style. The social relevance influence of Indian films on Indian fashion trends. The exploration of cultural influence of Indian films on Indian fashion trends hold significant social relevance. One is understanding culture dynamics. This article delves into the integrated relation between Bollywood and fashion, offering insight into how cultural products such as a film shaped societal norms, values, and behavior. By examining how fashion trends and are influenced by cinema, we gain a deeper understanding of the mechanism through which culture is both preserved and transformed. This understanding is crucial in a diverse and rapidly evolving society like India. Everyone is reflecting and shaping identity. Fashion is a powerful form of self-expression and identity. Bollywood film, by setting fashion trends, play a key role in shaping how individuals perceive themselves and others. The article highlights this influence, showing how film can reinforce or challenge traditional gender roles, social hierarchy, and cultural identities. This reflection and shaping of identity have a profound implication on social cohesion and personal empowerment. Preservation of heritage and tradition. Bollywood has a unique role in preserving and revitalizing traditional Indian attire and crafts by popularizing traditional outfits such as saris, lehengas, and handcrafted textiles. Film contribute to a pre- preservation of India's rich cultural heritage. This is especially relevant in the era of globalization, where there is a risk of cultural homogenization. The article underscores the importance of cinema in keeping traditional fashion alive and relevant and social commentary and change. Film often act as social commentaries addressing issues such as gender equality, social justice, and environmental sustainability. When these themes are also reflected in the fashion trends, they can lead to greater awareness on social change. For instance, the promotion of sustainable fashion in films can encourage eco-friendly practices among consumers. The article highlights such instances demonstrating the potential of cinema to inspire positive social change through fashion. Global influence and software. Bollywood influence extended beyond India, impacting global perception of Indian culture. Fashion trends set by the Bollywood films contribute to India's software, enhancing its cultural influence on the global stage. By analyzing this phenomenon, the article provides insight into how India projects its cultural identity worldwide and process called cross-cultural exchanges. Objective and aim. Objectives: understand design decision, gain insight into how fashion designers create and select costumes for films, analyze impact, discuss the perceived impact of Indian films on Indian fashion trends, identity trends, identify recurring themes and trends in the fashion influenced by in Indian society, visual analyze, examine film footage, photograph, and fashion spread to identify key fashion elements and trends. Fashion elements, specific styles, garments, accessories, and makeup trends to introduce or popularized by film. Audience reception, how audience responded to and adopt these trends. Culture context, the broader cultural and societal context in which these fashion trends emerged. Aim is cultural impact, film that have had a notable cultural impact and are organized for the fashion influence. Diverse eras, film from the different time periods to capture this evolution of fashion influence, fashion innovation, film that introduce or popularized new fashion trends.
Yeah, Gerald, sorry to disturb you. Your PPT is not visible, and also try to bind up fast. Okay.
Okay. The limitation, subjectivity. The interpretation of fashion trends and their impact can subjective. Scope study focus primarily on Bollywood, potentially overlooking regional cinema influences, temporal changes, rapid changes in fashion and cinema make it challenging to capture the latest trends. Conclusion: the relation between Indian film and fashion is a dynamic and evolving one. Bollywood continues to be a major trendsetter influencing fashion choices across the country. As film reflects societal changes, aspiration, and culture shift, they stimulate, shape, and are shaped by the fashion industry. The symbiotic relationship highlights the power of cinema and as a culture force and its enduring impact on fashion. Film reflects society, capturing both the present and the past. Sometimes film draw inspiration from society, while at other times they lead or inspire societal change. The symbiotic relation between India and fashion is a testament of the powerful cultural influence of film. As Indian cinemas continues to evolve, its impact on fashion trends remain ever present, shaping and reflecting the sectorial choice of millions. From traditional attire to contemporary style, the fashion narrative in films is a rich tapestry of history, culture, and innovation. Thank you.
Thank you, Gerald. The floor is open for questions. Do we have any questions on the topic? Now I call ETRD-24 Haleshappa PV to present on navigating the research landscape, a comprehensive approach to research methodology and writing. Do we have Haleshappa with us? No. Now I request ETRD-24134 Praful Chabra to present on exploring the most significant divergence measures. Praful, are you here?
Yes, sir. I'm
Okay.
presenting it on the behalf of Praful, sir. Am I
Wonderful.
audible to you?
Yeah, you're audible now.
Actually, okay. Should I share my screen?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, okay. Is my screen visible to all?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So, good evening to all. I'm Sonam Chhabra, research scholar under the supervision of Praful Chhabra. So, I'm presenting the paper titled Exploring the Most Significant Measure on behalf of Praful Chhabra. So here in this paper, we have find some a new divergence measures, parametric divergence measure, and the vital accesses to all. This is the introduction where we have shown what's the divergence measure. Divergence measure can be proven to extremely beneficial in a wide range of domains, which include healthcare, physics, sciences, turbulent flow, etc. Firstly, we define the convex function. What is convexity? Convexity is a design for a function. For example, we have taken example as z for the interval a to b in case where z1 and z2 belongs to ab and view is belongs to from 0 to 1. Then we have the following equation presented on the screen. Let further we let the two set of finite discrete distribution of probability represented as gamma p, where theta represented as theta 1 to 2 theta pi, where the sum of summation of all the thetas equals to 1 and p greater than equals to 1. So for the differential functions, we have taken two functions like h and theta, where h belongs to 0 to infinity to r, and theta and psi are the two Cesar related functions, where we have explained by the equation number 1 the Cesar's divergence measure, which is the mean divergence measure for the information theory, where we have defined the probability mass function as the theta s and the psi s, which match to the discrete distribution respectively. Using these functions, we have defined substitute divergences. We have substituted these divergences by taking different of functions. For example, we have shown in the screen by the equation 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so on. We have taken different types of functions as we explained on the screen for the hz, for example, z minus 1 to 2q and divided by z power 2q minus 2, where q defines as a 1 to 2 infinity. We have got z as q function, and similarly we have got some hz for the next coming equations. In this way, we have defined some different types of divergence measure by using the different function and substituting in the Cesar's function. So here, for the second function, we have got new parametric convex function and their property. So here we have, in this section, we have go presented 6 normalized parametric functions, which is the convex, and we have shown by taking two different real differential mappings, which is defined as d and e from 0 to infinity to r, the real than or equals to 0, which means that the given divergence measures are the convex, and we have shown that. Similarly, the direct relations are also shown. Direct combination of the convex function is also a convex function, where here we taken the a1, a2 to are the positive constant. And in this section, we have come some outcomes like we have taken different values, the a1, a2, and a3 for the different values of the constants, positive constant. We have got the different results as shown on the screen. Firstly, we taken the a1 and a2 is equals to 1 and others constants are 0. So we get the d1 and d2z. Here we got the answer. And in the second step, we have taken different values. A2 equals to A3 equals to when other positive constants are 0. So we got the desired result. Here we have left. So we got some conclusion here, dq to dq1 plus 1 as dq plus dq1. So here the q varies from 1 to infinity. And again, we have taken the different values of A1, A2, and A3. We got the results like the capital D1Z and capital D2Z. So for the in the general form, we got dqz is equal to z minus 1 to 2q, and here where the b greater than 1. And for the this, we have taken b is equals to e approximation 2.71828. So we got the result here by the equation number 17. And for the strategy also, like for that, we have taken the two-key system. So as for D, and similarly, we got the EQZ also a general form. So here we have shown that the bilinearity property, these are the convex, and the more of the functions are normalized. And similarly, since there's a negative when the interval is a positive, so for every value of q, the functions that dq and the eq are the two inconsistently one from in 1 to infinity and declining gradually in 0 to 1 respectively. And for the section 3, the new parametric distance measure and properties, we have defined the measures also as shown in the screen. And for this, we have described some of the points we have this way. And at the end, we have got the new intra and the interrelations as we have defined some of the divergence based by using the different functions in the first section. And now in the fourth section, we use the different relations. We conclude some of the relations as shown by the proposition 1, propositions, and other similar propositions. So we have also included the proof also a proof here that how we got the inequalities intra or the intra relation. And in the end session, we have we have gone through some of the results here is shown in the last, and we have compared this above concluded divergence measure. In the fifth part, we have shown this in a graphical approach. As shown in the screen, we have got the some of the comparisons there. So these are the references we have used, and thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Do we have any questions from the audience?
I'm asking you one question. Which software used for graphical representation?
Sir, we have gone through the latex. We have here we done these processes are done by the latex only.
Can we draw with the use of MATLAB?
Pardon, sir.
Can we draw
You're
these
not
graphs
audible.
with the use of MATLAB?
Yeah, he's asking that can we draw these instead of latex? Can we use MATLAB for it?
We can go through, but the my just this is actually paper of my supervisor, so we are doing all his work through the latex, and these are also done by the latex, and we can go to the MATLAB also if you want.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Now I call ETRD-24135 Arvind Dhurve on variation in cosmic ray intensity associated with sunspot numbers and tilt angle during solar cycle 24-25.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening to everyone and all dignitaries.
Kindly share your presentation, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 1 minute. My PPT is visible, sir?
Yeah, it's visible, sir.
Okay. Yes, sir. Visible? Hello?
It's visible. It's visible.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Uh, so, good evening to everyone. I'm Arvind Dure, a research scholar, Department of Physics, APS University, Riva. Today, I'm present my research work on topic variations in cosmic rays in ray intensity associated with sunspot numbers and tilt angle during solar cycle 24-25. These are the outlines of this presentation: introduction, data selection methodology, research result and discussion, conclusions, and references. So we know that cosmic rays are energetic particles that originate from outer space. They are formed by electrons, positrons, and protons and normal nuclei. They can consist of high energy protons and electrons. These are and cosmic rays are high energy particles which are falling on Earth's surface all the times and everywhere. So cosmic rays uh, originate from various sources in space, including the self-destructing stars like supernova, pulsars, double stars, and these particles are like protons, alpha and beta particles are not actual rays, but these are high energetic particles. So galactic cosmic rays are primarily generated within our galaxy by a phenomenon like supernova explosion. So magnetosphere of celestial bodies, and while extragalactic cosmic rays are with even higher energy originate from the powerful source like radio galaxies. So cosmic rays modulations refer to the temporal variation in cosmic ray intensity within heliosphere. Heliosphere is a vast region of space surrounding the sun. So the modulation of cosmic rays in heliosphere is intrinsically linked to the tilt angle of the heliospheric current sheet. So which play a crucial role in cosmic ray accretion into the inner heliosphere during period of solar activity minimum. So in this study, have shown the tilt angle of the heliospheric current sheet is inversely correlated with galactic cosmic rays and tilt angle with variation in the tilt angle implying the intensity of cosmic rays observed in different solar cycles. So uh, in relationship between cosmic rays, sunspot number, tilt angle has been extensively studied across solar cycles 24 and 25, and in this research indicated that sunspot number SSN and tilt angle TA are positively correlated with each other, but show an inverse correlation with CRI. So the modulation of cosmic ray has been linked to hello. Sir, my voice. Hello, hello. Sir, slide visible है? Hello. Okay, okay. सर अगेन शेयर करता हूँ इसे.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Visible, sir.
Yeah, it is visible.
Okay, okay. Thank you, sir.
Don't play on from beginning. Be on the Microsoft slide mode only, and keep on scrolling the side screen because we are not able to see the presentation slide later.
Okay, sir. So,
and I also request you to kindly bind it up in next 5 minutes so that we can move to the next participants.
sir, actually मेरी move नहीं हो रही है.
Sir, kindly discuss your methodology, outcomes, findings, and recommendations.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. Sir, here.
Without slide also you can at least discuss those things, sir. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Sir, in this paper, the yearly mean value of sunspot number are taken from the website, data website www.sidc.silico, and the computate heliospheric current data SCS is taken from the WSO standard education edu.html, and the yearly value of cosmic rays intensity of different neutron monitors stations, which is saturated in various cutoff rigidity, and uh, IJI and South Pole and Thule. So in this finally I conclude, sir. On the basis of observation and analysis, we have found the relationship between Ig by Newton monitor and tilt angle. Our coefficient is minus 0.040, is very weak and negative correlation, and Ig by SSN correlation coefficient is found very weak, 0.08, and Newton monitor Thule and tilt angle relationship coefficient R is very weak and negative, minus 0.43, and SSN and Thule correlation coefficient are minus 0.33, weak and negative correlation, and next third Newton monitor South Pole and tilt angle. So we have get very weak and negative correlation, and with sunspot number we get negative correlation. Positive and very weak correlation. So we can here conclude sunspot number and tilt angle are positively correlated with coefficient 0.94. It is very strong positive correlation and inversely correlated and associated with cosmic ray intensity. Here cosmic ray intensity shows anti-correlation with sunspot number and tilt angle, and poor correlation observed of CRI cosmic ray intensity with sunspot number and tilt angle observed, and heliospheric currency, tilt angle, and sunspot number affects cosmic ray modulation. So thank you, sir. These are the
Thank
references.
you. Yeah, thank you very much, sir.
Thank
Do
you.
we have any questions from the audience? It was indeed a very deep research, but because of the limitation of times and the technical features, we could not visit it properly. Yeah.
Sir. Cutoff rigidity, sir. Yes, yes. Yes. Sir, cutoff rigidity, अर्थ मैग्नेटिक, ये सर जो अर्थ मैग्नेटिक फील्ड होती है इसकी डेंसिटी कितनी है, ये शो करता है कट ऑफ रिजिडिटी. जी. यस. Sorry, sir. Okay. Okay. So due to magnitude. Okay, sir. Yes. Yeah. Quality solar activity change. Yeah. Okay. 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 Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. Thank you for your inputs. Now I
Thank you, sir.
request
Thank you.
ETRD-24 Jyoti Papola to present on organic biocides along with low-cost additives as wood preservatives. Do we have Jyoti Papola with us?
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
Shall I present my presentation?
Yeah. And ma'am, please keep your presentation crisp and short and try to bind it up in 5 to 10 minutes, 5 to 6 minutes.
Sure, sir. Sure. So give me a second. Yeah. Sir, is my presentation is visible?
No, ma'am, it's not visible.
So just a minute. Interest. So now it is visible.
Yeah, now it's visible.
Okay. Good evening to all. I'm Jyoti Papula. I'm a research scholar at Institute of Wood Science and Technology, Bangalore. So I'm going to present my topic on organic biocide along with low-cost additives as wood preservatives. So a little introduction about what is wood and how other factors they are deteriorating the wood. Wood, as we know, it's an important vital renewable building material which is used for various end purposes, as we can see in the building materials and utility poles and many more others. So this wood, it is composed of lignocellulosic material, that is cellulose, hemicellulose and lignin, and therefore they are degraded by various biotic and abiotic factors. As we can see in these pictures, the first picture is the illustration of fungi, and second one is decay rot. These are both biotic factors, and abiotic factors, these are the weathering or UV radiation, which will hampers the physical properties of the wood. The last picture, it is illustrating the same. So in the 19th century, during the industrial revolution, there was huge demand of the durable wood. So therefore, in order to regulate the gap between the demand and supply, there the concept of the wood preservation came. Wood preservation is nothing, just we are impregnating the chemicals in the wood with the help of pressure and the non-pressure method. So there are different types of chemical categories like waterborne preservative, oil-borne preservatives, organic solvent preservatives, and these wood preservatives are again classified on the basis of generation. That is first generation. It will encompass creosote, as we can see in the second picture. This is the creosote, then PCP, pentachlorophenol, and many more. And the second generation wood preservatives, these are based on the metal complexing compounds, and these will encompass like copper azole preservatives and miscellaneous. And these third generation based wood preservative, these are organic based preservative which are entirely focusing on the organic biocide. So there are different types of method to impregnate these chemicals in the wood. They are the pressure and the non-pressure methods. So these are the non-pressure method like prophylatic, diffusion, hot and cold, and the sap displacement method. And the pressure treatment method, they will include the full cell process and the empty cell process. So these first and two generation wood preservatives, they led to the environmental degradation, and they are causing the human health issues. As we can see in the first picture, the wood preservative industry, they are producing certain chemicals, and these preservatives are utilized in the utility poles, in the lumbers and all. And when these are disposed of in the landfill areas, they are leading to the leaching of the chemicals, means those chemicals which have been been impregnated, they are started to leach. And once they leach, with the rainfall, they are going to the depth of the soil, and these will again go to the water areas, which directly or indirectly are humans they are intaking. As we are, as in the pictures it is illustrated, like the human beings, they are taking the plant as well as the water based bodies also, like fishes and etc. Same the second pictures, it is illustrating how these chemicals they are leaching they are hampering the soil profile. So in order to overcome these situations, this leaching and other human health hazard, there came the concept of the organic biocide. So organic biocides, these are the member of the triazoles. They include the IBPC, quaternary ammonium compounds, which are quite effective against the decay fungi, and the main advantage of this that they resist the leaching in the wood. And these are entirely safe. They are carbon based plant and the animals, and when they are amalgamated or combined with the organic biocide, they enhances the physical, mechanical. These preservatives are highly effective against the wood degrading fungi, and they offers the protection against termites also. And these additives after the environment, so hampering the environment as well as the human beings. And preservatives. And secondly, in order to support this study, certain studies has been
I would like to acknowledge these people. That is my supervisor, my director of my institute, the GCR, and SENS IISc, for providing me with the adequate help throughout the course of my research. Thank you, one and all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. The floor is open for questions. Do we have any question on this? It was a really very wonderful presentation. A very in-depth research was done on. Now, as we come to the end of today's session, the second session, I request session chairs to kindly give their insights on the session. I think she's not connected with us. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to our esteemed session chairs, Dr. Nidhi Asthana and Professor Askar Ali, for their valuable presence and guidance throughout this session. I also extend my heartfelt thanks to the distinguished speakers, Dr. Suresh Lata Soni, Dr. S. Farhan, Dr. Patanjali Sharma, for their enlightening and thought-provoking lectures. I encourage all the attendees to actively participate in the discussion and engage with our esteemed speakers. This conference will serve as a platform for the intellectual discourse and the exchange of ideas, which will undoubtedly contribute to the advancement of knowledge in our respective fields. Once again, I thank you all for your presence. Let us connect tomorrow at 9 a.m. sharp to foster an environment of academic excellence and collaboration. We'll be starting our paper presentation or the oral presentation right from 9 a.m. sharp tomorrow. So kindly be connected to us. I'm Dr. Pushpa Singh signing off on day 1. Thank you.